Basically, when I started this journey for the first time, filming my journey with a camera, yeah, I thought that I wanted to be as close as possible to, not the truth, but yeah, to be as truthful as possible, to really try to show the experience of traveling as raw as possible and as truly as possible. So as you can see, I almost stay in a cave, but it's a very nice room. Let's give you a quick hotel tour, and then we're gonna go for a hike in the valley of Dana. Maybe I need to switch off the light up. Okay. Very nice. You can see the bathroom is hindered in a cave. Very funny. Another cyclist around here. The decorations with the king there, and you can see here. So I am in Dana Tower Hotel in Dana village. It's very beautiful. It's almost, the hotel itself is just a maze. It looks like as if you were in the old city, in the maze of an old desert city. Look at that. So my bike is stored here on the side. Here is the kitchen.
Yeah.
Hello. With the cook from Bangladesh. Very, always smiling, always laughing, very funny. And here we are in the village already. So before going on the hike, let's explore a little bit the village. I think there is a viewpoint somewhere to see the valley. So basically the village used to be abandoned a few decades ago, and when tourism started, people started to come back. They rehabilitated some of the houses to transform them into hotels to welcome tourists for the Valley of Dana, basically. Salam alaikum. But you see, still most of the houses are destroyed. Salam alaikum. Wow, it looks like this viewpoint is going to be awesome. So that's the famous valley of Dana. Wow. Oh, and it's so clear today. We can see all the way to the lowlands, and on the right side somewhere is the Dead Sea. So the trek I want to do is somewhere this side. Wow, proper sound. Yeah, let's explore a bit more the deserted part of the village before starting the trek. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so it's quite destroyed, eh? Because basically, except everything that is not destroyed is a hotel, basically. I think so. I don't know what's this house. And the Valley of Dana is just down there. Okay, let's start the trek to Rumanna camp to give you a beautiful view of the Dana Valley and to finish this video with beautiful nature. Okay, I passed the traffic jam. And as you can see, there is a canal. The village is much bigger than just that, because that's the village up there. As you can see, there are like abandoned houses down here, and there is a system to bring the water somewhere. And actually I want to enjoy this walk just to very quickly talk to you about something that is important to me. Basically, when I started this journey for the first time filming my journey with a camera. Well, I'm going through a river almost. Yeah, so then I thought, wow, sorry, the path is a river. Now there is a basin here. Look at that. See, all the water comes from here and from somewhere up. Yeah, I thought that I wanted to be as close as possible to, not the truth, but yeah, to be as truthful as possible, to really try to show the experience of traveling as raw as possible and as truly as possible. But I realized that then when you do it, you realize that it's much more complicated than just going around with the camera to try to be true. I noticed that especially in Iraq, where basically I could really see it was very obvious that many times, not always, but many times the camera was changing people's behavior, and the experience I would have of the country without the camera was completely different from what the experience I had while walking around with the camera. So in this sense, I mean, it was in a positive way. The modification was very positive, but still, in this sense, then it's not true. Then what I'm showing is not really true because people modify a lot their behavior when they see the camera. And yeah, basically, in my films in Iraq, the country appears extremely welcoming. It is very welcoming for sure, but not as welcoming as what you've seen in the videos. Because like in many places I walked by many times in the same areas without the camera and nothing would happen, and I would be like someone normal and nobody would care about me. And as soon as I was with the camera, like so many people would jump at me and be friendly and that. So it was the experience is quite different with or without the camera. So I just want to say that, because in this sense what I filmed is not that true, because the people's behavior was modified by the presence of the camera basically. And there is another thing that also explains why people modify their behavior, especially with the hospitality, with the fact that to not let me pay in Iraq. At first people would, when they saw me coming, they would just think, okay, he buys something, let's let him pay. But when they would see the camera, very often then their mind will switch and they will completely refuse me to pay. And even if I insisted, they would really not let me pay. And then I understood this behavior much later, because is it the right way? I don't know. I understood this behavior much later. There are a lot of camps, a lot of people are camping. There is fire points everywhere. There are fire points everywhere here. Yeah, basically this is, I think, because they know it's filmed, and there is a big, like the hospitality is basically the hospitality towards the guest or the foreigners or the guest is very strong. It's part of the Islamic law basically. So in Iraq, as it's a very traditional country, there is a big social pressure to respect the. I think I went the wrong way. Holy moly, I need to go down. There is a big social pressure regarding the Islamic law, and people, if they know they are filmed, they know, well, they should really follow this law. And I've noticed that, and basically to not let pay the foreigners is part of the Islamic law. And I've noticed that because on my first video in Baghdad, I went, up. Yeah, on my first video, at some point in one of the main crossroads in Baghdad, I bought a kebab and the guy let me pay and that. And then I put just a bit of the YouTube video, just a small part, I put it on Facebook and the video worked well. What surprised me a lot is that basically some people were insulting the guy who let me pay, the guy of the kebab, the guy of the sandwich. They were insulting him for letting me pay, because they were saying, you know, oh, he's a guest, you should be ashamed to take his money. Well, that's those sort of things. So because you know, well, that's the Islamic rule and that. So in this, so that made me understand that quite often in my videos, when people don't let me pay, not always, but often, like for example the video in Najaf, I think that was the case. People would not let me pay to respect the Islamic law and because of the social pressure, because they knew the video was gonna be in the internet. Basically, they don't want to be insulted because they accepted my money. So that's one of the things that makes that. I don't say that it's always the time, always the case. Like some people really offered me things in Iraq and in other places, and it was really because they wanted, and it was not because of any social pressure or anything. But some were also seemed to me that they were that they refused me to pay because of the social pressure of the guest culture, Look at this, we are right in the axis of the Valley of Dana. What a beautiful place. You have some greens, the village of Dana up there. You can see all the way down, and if you can see, after you're out of the mountains, when you get to the lowlands, there are some hills and there is a village nearby. That's the last village before the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is this way. And that's also the last village before Palestine. So everything that you see in the distance, it's Palestine, and then it's the mountains of Jericho and Jerusalem somewhere. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how far we can see. Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to say, it's also basically the YouTube algorithm pushes creators, especially creators who say they show like probably like myself, who say they show like raw life, the way that's kind of the truth, not the truth, but that's the reality of where you go. The YouTube algorithm, when you make positive videos, the video make more views, work better. So in the end, the YouTube algorithm also pushes you to make mostly positive videos, to be always positive towards the countries you visit, because then it's more profitable for the creator, and in this sense, it also pushes you not to be always truthful, because if you want your channel to grow, you really have to be positive and nice, and then you have more chances for your channel to grow. So in this sense, the YouTube algorithm pushes you to hide some unpleasant facts, let's say. Yeah, basically it's hard to be balanced, because the YouTube algorithm always wants to put you in the box of whether you are a creator who makes videos about scammers, let's say, or bad things when you travel to a country, or otherwise the algorithm puts you in the box of people who promote the country. And it's hard to be balanced, because then YouTube doesn't know where to put you, in which box to put you, and then basically YouTube does not promote your video, and then it's bad for yourself. So then you tend to try to put yourself in one of those boxes in order to make that YouTube does promote your channel, because otherwise you're working for nothing. That's it. Yeah, basically that's all I wanted to say regarding this issue of being truthful during the videos. It's not as easy. I'll try my best to be honest about what I see, whether it's good or bad. I can see it does not help my channel, but that's the way it is. But still, I'll try to be truthful. The main issue is probably the camera. The camera really, when people see the camera, it really changes people's behavior. So that's really a bias. It really puts a big bias in the video. Hopefully, slowly I improve and I find ways to make it more raw and with less bias because of a camera, or because of an obviously seen camera. Okay, so that's the end of my talk about how I try to be truthful in my films, and how I try to be just honest, neither good or bad, neither positive nor negative, just honest. That's the end of my talk. Let's enjoy the end of the trek now. Woo! So for those who don't know, that's how you know where the trail is. You just follow the, I don't know, we call them currents in French, I don't know if it's the same in English. But you just follow them if you don't know where is the trail, trying to find the stones, the piled up stones. And this trail is called the White Domes, and I guess you can see why. That's the beautiful white domes. And probably you can't really see it, but just in front it's Dana village, and that's the trail going down the valley. And I guess yesterday the view we had was probably somewhere there. And I'm waiting for some shade to have some rest, but the shade, I never find shade. It's funny because there were a lot of trees down there when we walked on the ridge there, on the slope there, but now the trees are all very small and they don't give any shade. Look at those beautiful domes. And down there, it's Palestine. And I don't know if you can see, probably not, but just in front on the stone, on the big rock, there is a blue lizard. So let's go to see if we can get a closer look to the blue lizard. I've never seen a blue lizard before. Can you see it now? Oh, he's so big, he has such big legs. Very nice. Up! Too close, okay. Okay, where is the trail? Here? It's funny because sometimes it's very easy to follow the trail, but sometimes you're on the trail and it seems like 5 seconds later you have no idea where the trail is. So that's we are in the middle of the White Domes, I think. I'm not to the camp yet. I would just like to go on the other side of this one to see the view, to see the full view over Palestine. So here I am at the big viewpoint, which is gonna be the end of the video. And there is a shade here, so I'm gonna go sit in the shade. Keep away dangerous area, they say. So the valley down there is what we saw from yesterday when I was biking. So that's Wadi Dana, and in front of us it's Palestine, or Palestine in English, and the valley of the Dead Sea. But the Dead Sea is this way on the right, and that's called Wadi Araba. And that's the end of the video, guys. See you later for the next adventures, probably on the way to Araba with the bicycle. Ciao!